Hey, welcome back to my channel, everybody. Today I've got a little bit of a different variety of stuff to show you. The long story short is I saw an advertisement for a garage sale that was advertising baseball cards, and decided to swing by, hoping that they would have something valuable. Unfortunately, what I was able to sift through was a lot of 90s junk wax cards. Nothing that was really worth my time, although there was a lot of binders and cards and all sorts of stuff. But anyway, in one of the boxes, I was able to find some stuff that it was pretty old and still pretty cool, and in my opinion was the best find of the entire trip. So anyway, this is what I was able to pick up. I think this was all in a box, and I paid $10 for it. So there was some other stuff in there I weeded out that I didn't really want, but I just said, hey, what do you want for this? And they said, $10. Just really cool items, man, like this 1951 souvenir scorecard for 10 cents. That's the picture of the 1926 world champion St. Louis Cardinals there, 25th anniversary of their first championship. But you get some of these cool things, and you know, people who have put their notes on the back. This was June 17th, 1951 at Sportsman's Park. They played Philadelphia and won 6-5. So just a really cool, look at that, they even took actual score and took score of the actual game. You don't see too many people doing that anymore. So just a really cool official souvenir scorecard from 1951. I think that's what, 60 some years old at this point. Here's another one from 1954. And I'm not really a St. Louis Cardinals fan, but to appreciate just kind of the history of it, this time the scorecard is not filled all the way out. But you can see this was Cardinals versus the Brooklyn Dodgers. And it already has some of the stuff printed in there. So you see Pee Wee Reese played for the Reds like in the 90s and 2000s. Duke Snider, Gil Hodges. You can see Jackie Robinson's name written in there. Roy Campanella, just absolute legends of the game. You can see throughout there. There's Jackie Robinson, number 42, listed as an infielder. And then the Cardinals lineup back then. It even has their batting averages at the time. That's pretty cool. Schoen Dice, who's in the Hall of Fame. Musial, obviously one of the all-time greats. Haddix, there's the pitcher. So it's got all sorts of really cool stuff. Got the team records at the time, not including today's games. You can see Brooklyn was in second place, and the Cardinals were not obviously quite as high. They're 15 games back. So really cool. It's just these old advertisements. Fans who know, by Bud, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Newark, and Los Angeles. Very cool. So a couple of those. Then this old school little pennant. I don't know, St. Louis Browns. The date on this thing, it was just happened to be stuck in there between all these things. Little St. Louis Browns pennant. Pretty interesting. Did they become the Orioles? I can't remember who the Browns ended up becoming. St. Louis Cardinals, here's again, 1952 souvenir program with Fred Bird there doing us all sorts of tricks. Here's another one, another game against Brooklyn. You can see Pee Wee Reese, Robinson, Campanella, Duke Snider, Gil Hodges again on there. See attendance up there at the top, 34,000. September 2nd, 1945. Don't know how that would be accurate when it says this is 1952 souvenir program. But anyway, it's just really cool stuff. Some more just really neat advertising. And to think that people save these things. Here's the Kansas City Athletics one for 15 cents. Obviously before the A's picked up and moved to Oakland, and that's been a big thing in the news lately with Oakland obviously looking to go to Las Vegas. But before they did that, they were in Kansas City and moved to out to Oakland. So got all these things here. You can see the Kansas City roster back then. No one who's big time that you'll really recognize. Whitey Herzog there in the outfield, number 22. As a player before he became more famous as a manager for the Royals and then the Cardinals. There's Detroit with Al Kaline in the middle of their lineup. Gus O'Neill down there towards the bottom. Just really cool to go back and look through these things. And to be honest, I haven't given it as much time as I probably should. Whoever was doing the scorebook this day didn't actually do it all the way through. But just really neat to see all the different things. There's a Roger Maris article. What a bright future he should have. Just 24 years old. Already 3 major league seasons. Just really see cool stuff. There's an old Schlitz ballpark advertisement. So I'm not going to go through every single one of these. Here's another one, the St. Louis Cardinals from 1952. 50 cents. This looks like more of like a team yearbook. I'm not going to go through all of this, but just some really cool stuff. Kind of their team yearbook. These old advertisements get me all the time. Grease Stick Brothers Premium Light Locker Beer. All Cardinals games broadcast by Harry Carey. I did not realize he did Cardinals games before the Cubs. Here's an old scorecard, 1966. This is not Sportsman Park. This is Busch Stadium, the original Busch Stadium, right there by the arch. Another scorecard. Oh, this one even has the ticket. That's pretty cool. I didn't even notice that when I first Sunday day game, August 28th, 1966. It's kind of bummer now they don't even print real tickets. You see their lineup: Lou Brock, Mike Shannon, who passed away, rest in peace, not that long ago. McCarver, Orlando Cepeda, Kurt Flood, Javier. There's Steve Carlton. And then I assume that's Matty Alou, the dad of Moises Alou, Clemente, Willie Stargell, Mazeroski. Man, some of the all-time legends that played in these games. Here's another Royals program. I'm not going to go. That's Lou Piniella, who was obviously more famous as manager of the Mariners and the Reds. American League Rookie of the Year. He was one of the first Kansas City Royals in 1969. This is the 1970 scorebook. So this is their second season. I believe their first season was 1969, if I remember correctly. There's the new manager emphasizing the fundamentals. Charlie Metro. There he is, AL Rookie of the Year. Yeah, he was the Rookie of the Year in 1969, his first year with the Royals. So very cool broadcasting duo. I'm going to only put this up here because Buddy Blattner and Dennis Matthews, who goes by Denny Matthews. Denny Matthews is still doing games. He has done Royals games for the entirety of the team's existence. Started in 1969. Now he doesn't travel on all of the away games. He mainly just does home games now and doesn't even do all of those. But Denny Matthews, just a legend, Hall of Fame inductee. Just awesome to see him there. He's the only voice I know is the voice of the Royals. Here's another one, Kansas City Athletics Municipal Stadium, 1964, rain check. Really cool that they stapled their ticket there. So we've got the scorecard there, 810, which still exists in Kansas City. WHB is what it is now. Probably the biggest radio station in the Kansas City area for those. Guys Chips are back. I've seen them at Walmart here lately. I didn't know those things were going to come back, but I remember them as a kid, but they were gone and then came back. Here's a 1953 Cardinals little poster here. It's really cool on the back. Someone must have had that hung up. Here's another one. This is from the spring in 1955. You can tell by the palm trees in the back there. That's at their spring training facility, wherever that is. I know it's in Florida now. I don't know. I assume it was in Florida back then. And then the last few things is I don't want this to get too long. Hall of Fame night in Kansas City in June of 1956. Just look at these absolute legends in here. Left to right, back row, Ty Cobb. Obviously has a Lefty Grove, the Athletics jersey. Tris Speaker, Mickey Cochran, Frank Fritsch, Dazzy Vance, Carl Hubble. And then in the front row, Ted Lyons, Bill Dickey, Jimmy Fox. What an absolute stud Jimmy Fox was. Charles Gehringer, Ray Schalk, and Paul Wainer. And they got all their signatures, obviously not real signatures on there. I don't even know what this is from. They must have done some type of Hall of Fame promotion or something. Save that. That's really cool. And then these last few things before I wrap this up. Just some old 1985 when the Royals won the World Series. Obviously, there's Brett Saberhagen as the MVP. Controversial World Series with the Game 6 bad call at first base and then the blowout in Game 7. Here's George Brett's final game against the Texas Rangers. I want to say that's 1993 or 1995. Can't remember exactly off the top of my head. 92, it looks like here, when he got his 3,000th hit, so maybe 93. And then a commemorative little piece of the Kansas City Star there. So anyway, just some really cool things. I know that's not what I normally show on my channel, but I was very, very excited to find that. And for 10 bucks, just to go through the nostalgia of all those things, I think is just really neat. And I don't even know how much any of this is worth. And to be honest, it's not really that big of a deal. Just really cool to go through that and see some of the legends of the game, some of these old scorecards and documents like that. So thank you so much for watching. If you made it all the way through, I'll catch you in another video. See ya.